Beijing uses the courts to quell unrest and shuns Putin's overtures. Welcome to Stratfor Agenda. The trials continue in China of those involved in the deadly ethnic riots that earlier this year convulsed the western region of Xinjiang, where almost 200 people died. The courts have already condemned at least 9 people to death. Energy-rich Xinjiang has been struck in recent years by bombings, attacks and riots that Beijing blames on pro-independence Uyghur separatists.
We don't expect the trials in Xinjiang to be drawn out for too long. If they're drawn out for too long, there could be some unrest that justice isn't being served. If they're done too quickly, however, on the opposite side, there could be some disagreement on whether or not the investigations were properly conducted.
This month is a really busy time for China's leaders. In the past few days, they've hosted visiting chiefs from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and many of the Central Asian states. They've engaged in a war of words with India and entertained Russia's Vladimir Putin. Yet the much-heralded meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization turned out, in the words of a respected columnist, to be a dog that didn't bark.
Indeed, the SCO meetings did not produce anything of significance, but what is more important to look at is the flurry of energy deals that happened prior to the SCO meetings. Beijing and Moscow signed a series of contracts on trade and infrastructure development. But the most important thing is the contract that wasn't signed. Gazprom has been trying to negotiate with China for some time in a deal to supply natural gas to the country. However, they have been unable to agree on not only a price, China wants something cheaper than what the European Union is getting, but also there is no infrastructure set in place yet to deliver the natural gas. That deal is important because it signifies more than just an energy deal. It also signifies the relationship and the developing relationship between Beijing and Moscow.
And then there's the economy. Resurgent exports, more bank lending, and Washington again expressing concerns about the strength of the renminbi.
There's definitely a resurgence in the Chinese economy. This is happening for a number of reasons. It's the holiday season, so exports are picking up. The global economy overall is rebounding, but the biggest question is a lot of this rebound is due to the stimulus package. How sustainable is keeping the stimulus package going and keeping money pumped into the system?
The U.S.-Russian relationship will be in the spotlight next week as an official U.S. Defense Department delegation travels to Georgia and Vice President Joe Biden swings through Poland, Romania, and the Czech Republic, all sensitive areas from Moscow's perspective. There are also some doings in the Balkans, with Russian President Dmitry Medvedev meeting leaders in Serbia. Meanwhile, the U.S. defense chief will be in Japan and South Korea to discuss relations, the nuclear issues involving North Korea, and the situation in Afghanistan. And South Korea's president will be traveling to Vietnam and Cambodia, where he'll talk about his New Asia initiative and energy and economic cooperation, before ending his week in Thailand at the ASEAN summit. In other regions, we'll be discussing possibilities for Afghanistan, where it seems the U.S. president is leaning toward deploying tens of thousands more troops, and the outcome of presidential elections is still undecided. Along with the logistical challenges that a U.S. surge or redeployment would pose, there remains the difficult question of strategy. And in Mexico, there could be more fallout from the government's closure of a state-run utilities company. The move was intended as a budget-saving measure, but it also cost some 44,000 people their jobs and crushed a workers' union. Protests quickly followed in Mexico City. If there's more action from powerful unions and their supporters ahead, it could mean a further challenge to Mexico's stability, adding to the problems already posed by drug cartels.